Hey guys, welcome to our channel. Um, I've got two things I want to get done today, and I'm running out of time. Um, I told Danny last night that I was going to put out a video that explains how we think this works with the quantum computers, and I'm going to try really hard to get that out. But first, I saw something last night, and I know we ran. If anybody's we're not understanding, but we're doing Guns N' Roses better, guys. All right, we've been decoding it. We got the letters to go through all the categories. We got translations. We hooked them up through gematria. We got phrases that we could run. And then on the flip side of the translations, we started finding some of the words that were in there, like customers. And I found major through gematria. We found major in there. And we also found karma. Karmma, in which the K, the M, and the M were capitalized for some reason. And I got to looking at that last night. I started to wonder if that wasn't part of the code. Well, guess what? I think this is interesting. So I decided to run KMM through all the categories, and I'm glad I did. So we're going to try to get through this quickly, but there's something I want to point out. So once again, disclaimer. I'm not pushing any of this CV-19 nonsense. But there's going to be a little propaganda in here. So, and it connects, and I'm going to show you why. So just bear with me a little bit. This is what's going on now is what this decode is telling us. And you'll see. So KMM, the capitalized letters in karma, I decided to run those because that stood out to me. KMM. We already got the gematria to hook up to the words in the decode, right? So that connects it right there. But now we're going to run KMM through the categories. We got KMM going forwards in the stock market. You got the New York Stock Exchange KMM, excuse me. Douche, Deutsche, DEUTSCHE. Multi-market income, trust, stock price forecasts, and news. All right. If you come backwards with that, you have MMK, which ends up being Magnitrorski, Metal Ergchiski. It's really hard to pronounce, but it's MMK, and it's on the MCX. It's a stock exchange, all right? So there's that, and if you move on from that, trying to get through this quickly, is this the one? This is the one, right? Okay, if you move on from that, we're hitting genetics now. Okay, it is. So we're hitting genetics now, and if you're going forward in genetics, you get KMM, which ends up being Merixanthomonas ophuria, gen.nov, sp.nov, a marine bacterium of the family Flavobacteria, something or other, isolated from a deep sea Ritter star. But if you come in here and you read, and I'm not going to read it all, but I'm going to read this sentence. On the basis of phenotypic and phylogenetic data, strain KMM3046T represents a novel genus and species of the family Flavobacteriaceae or something like that. Novel. What are they calling this nonsense now? What are they? what are they calling this? What are they calling this nonsense now? The novel beer flu, right? Novel, like a story, like made up. But here it is. It's right here. So this KMM is a code within a code. And at the top of this particular link is going to be your propaganda. They're going to tell you all about this novel, aka fictional. And let me just say, now the flu isn't fictional. Everything else is. Everything else is. And pretty much every novel that you will ever see has some element of something real in it. Spider-Man, I don't know, that's not a novel, bad example, but Huckleberry Finn had some elements of reality. Spider-Man has elements of reality. I mean, New York City's real. So, I mean, yes, the common cold is real. Everything else isn't novel. And it's right here in this KMM. But I'm going to move on from that. That's what I wanted to read. And I want to get to our explanation of how we think this works, because I think that's important. So we're going to move on. If you come back in genetics, MMK is Karolinska Institute. They deal with genetics. All right? Molecular medicine and surgery. Molecular medicine, excuse me, but it's genetics. You go in here. I don't want this video to run much longer than it is already. But clinical genetics. All right? Clinical genetics. If you move on from that, and you're going now through medical, and you're coming forward, and you got KMM, which is Kaiser Medical Management. All right? Kaiser Medical Management. And MMK coming back is Marshall Marchetti Kratz Procedure. That is to do with medicine, medical, all right? And if you move on from that, where is my chemical? Right here. If you move on from that, you do have chemical next. KMM is chemical components in the PDB KN. Let's take a look. That's the medical procedure. Oh, a code. Yes, KMM is code KMM. And it's got a molecular name. It's chemical components in the PDB. KMM is the code. Code. It's right there. It's telling you it's a code. All right? So we know we're on the right track. And this is a code within the code. And I'll show you here in a moment how I got this. But MMK, if you're coming back, is MMK Chemical Technology Solutions. All right? So there's your chemicals. Going forward in technology, you have KMM, which is KMM Technologies. And if you come back, you have MMK, which is MMK Technologies. And if you hit research groups going forward, you get KMM, which is KMM-VIN. Now, we're not doing it. There we go. KMM-VIN is composed of research teams with expertise in materials development and processing technologies. All right. Now, if you come back, you have MMK, Department of Materials and Environmental Chemistry. And that gets you through going forwards and backwards in all of the categories with those letters, KMM. And the reason that is, and I'll see here if I can, maybe I can do it on this. All right. So my handwriting ain't that great, but here's what it is. Real fast. You had karma. Came up in our last decode, and hopefully we can see that. And in karma, it was something on Bristol Myers Squibb, remember? All right. So you have a capital K, then a lowercase AR, and then two capital M's, and then an A. KMM are capitalized for some reason. And they just stood out like a sore thumb to me, so I decided to run those letters, and look what we found. Okay, so I'm going to let that video go at that. And I'm going to move on. I'm going to make a diagram, and we're going to try to explain how we think this quantum network system works and why these changes occur. And then we're going to move on. I don't know that we're going to get our next category out today, but Phoenix pointed out that this code had everything to do with what was going on now. And if you dig into that code, you find they're telling you KMM is a code from karma. It tells you right in one of those, right in that chemical search, code KMM. Check the link. And then it talks about novel genus. And what are we dealing with? Novel CV, right? So, yes, it definitely is relevant to what's going on, and we just proved it again. But that's okay. We're going to move on. I'll make a diagram, and I'm not going to spend any more time on this. I'm sorry this ran as long as it did. I didn't think it would. But I guess I should have taken it one category at a time, but I wanted to get through this and put out this explanation of how we think this works. And maybe that'll help. Maybe if we get this explanation out of how we think it works, maybe it will help people understand further this process and what's really going on with these changes. All right, we're figuring it out. So thanks to everybody that stuck with us. Thanks, Danny. Thanks, Phoenix. Once again, I'm thanking everybody again. It's good. I mean, I would say it's huge that we are figuring it out, but obviously it's not that popular. For those of us that are onto it, I know it's huge for me. I mean, it's up to each individual how huge it is, but it's huge to me. And I can't say that it's huge for anybody else. But for me, it's a big breakthrough, and it helps me feel better about some of these changes, just knowing that I can figure out what the heck. And that's all we can do. We can't change it back, but we can figure out what the heck. So, next will be the explanation video. We'll make a diagram, and we will try to explain how we think these quantum computers work. So, for now, guys, thanks for all your thumbs up, thumbs down when appropriate. Thanks for all your comments, leads, feedback, and subscriptions. And thank you for watching, guys. I will try to get this other video out today before we move on with our decode here. And we're pushing towards the end of this decode. We're coming back through the numbers. So the only thing left will be to run these numbers against Nan Yang and a few others. I don't know that I'll run them against all the research groups. I don't think it's important. I think what's important, I think these ones that pop up over and over and over multiple times throughout the search is what we were actually searching, guys. It's coming back to me as we go. It's been a couple years since we've done this. But I don't think it's that important. I think what we need to do, what we did was figured out the ones that fit the pattern, the ones that repeated over and over and over, and then we ran the numbers against them. I know I said we were going to run them against every research group. I don't think that's necessary. I think that we had eliminated it down to the ones that repeat over and over throughout the letters. So that'll help save time too. And then we'll do binary. And then we'll move on to Stouffer's, Danny's maps, and Phoenix's I Love Rock and Roll. So for now, guys, thanks for watching. I'll do my best to get this next one out. And for now, you guys have a great rest of your day.